Welcome back to Face the State. I'm Ariana Bennett. Thank you for staying with us. Well, this time of year, the legislative blitz is dying down and governing bodies are nailing down their budgets for the next fiscal year. And Washoe County is one of those, with a new budget just adopted and even some growth in certain areas for the first time in a long time. Now, Washoe County Commissioner Marcia Burke-Bigler is here now to talk about that. Commissioner, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, are you finally able to take a breath?
Yes. It's so nice to have the legislature over with, because of course that has such a drastic impact on what happens at the local government level.
Absolutely.
So we spend a lot of time worrying about what they're doing down there.
And the budget adopted also.
And the budget, yes.
Two big hurdles cleared. How are you feeling about it right now?
I am actually feeling very, very good about Washoe County and our budget. We minimal increase, 18 million. That's not a great deal when you're talking about the size of our county, but that 18 million is covering 18 new positions. It's covering new meal services for senior citizens, both adding a second Meals on Wheels delivery, adding additional meals at our senior centers. It's adding parks, things to Parks and Rec, which for so many, we have golf courses, we have parks, and for so many years now, they have really taken major cuts. And we're adding some additional sheriff deputies, so we're just kind of looking down the road at things we need to do. We're adding a new position to help us with economic development, because that is going to be a really big key for us for the next, hopefully 10 or 15 years, but certainly in the upcoming few years. And so we need somebody who can kind of walk our people who come to us and want to build a big business. We need somebody who can kind of handhold them through the whole process and make sure that's done. So we're adding that type of staffing also.
Yeah, it's great to see. I mean, this is a tremendous time of change for our area and a lot of projected growth for the county. I mean, when you look ahead, are they telling you, okay, I mean, everyone buckle down because it's going to be crazy, or are they thinking it's going to be slow growth that is easy to keep up with?
I think it won't be easy to keep up with. I think it will be medium growth in the beginning, and then it will speed up. We just had the opportunity to meet with Tesla's staff who are coming in right now and sort of getting things together, and so I think they recognize that growth is going to staff up a little slower for them. But Tesla's not the only company that's coming in here. We have a number of companies, and in fact, if you talk with Mike Kazmierski from EDON, he'll tell you that we have as many employees in the wings of companies coming in as we do from Tesla and Apple and all of those kinds of things. So we really have a lot of business that's coming in, and yes, it will have a drastic impact on the county. So we at the county are preparing for that now.
Now, you said modest growth in this budget. Is there anything left on the wish list? I mean, was it hard to decide what's going to get the extra money, or are there things that got left out?
Lots of things left on the wish list. Libraries. We really need to do some things for our libraries. We would like, and we're doing a little bit for the libraries, but there's a lot more that we need to do. We'd also like to do a lot more for parks, and we definitely need to improve the quality of our parks. We'd like to build a business park that an industrial park that would be located in the county area, because there are businesses who come in and say, I'd like to be in the county. And so we're looking at those kinds of things. So yes, the wish list is still very long.
Yeah, now speaking of parks, looks like $500,000 going to a new irrigation system at Rancho San Rafael. I wanted to clarify, is that to allow the dog park to open back up, or is that a separate issue?
That's a separate issue. We have irrigation there, but it's really in need of repair, and so we're really kind of going in and fixing some of the things that haven't gotten the attention that they needed. The dog park is a separate issue because that's really a pasture, and it is watered by irrigation from the ditch. And so the ditch is controlled by the federal water master. So we're sort of in a position of, okay, we're at his liberty of what he's going to do with the ditch, and sooner or later it will close. Fortunately, all the rain that we had in May certainly helped it, extended the time frame, but we know it's coming, so we're preparing for losing that.
Yeah, now speaking of the steamboat ditch, recently announced that the Washoe Golf Course is going to have to cut its water use by 42%. Pretty big announcement there. Are there any other big surprises coming our way in terms of water cuts?
Well, the county itself is cutting back 10%, which is what the water master has recommended, is at least a 10%. So we, across the board in all of our parks and or not just Rancho San Rafael, but in all of the parks around, we're going to cut back 10%. Now, we are going to keep the 2 water parks, which are out in the North Valleys. We're going to keep them operating because we feel like it will help the children who live in those areas. Summer's going to get hot. And so rather than running pools for them and things like that, they can go to the water park. And so we are going to keep those 2 open. But that water is recyclable, and so it goes through a whole system. And you lose a little bit, but you don't lose a lot in that. And we think that in the long run will help people use less water in their own homes.
Okay, so the golf course and then 10% overall to parks, and that's pretty much it?
Well, it's 10% overall to all of our buildings, all of our parks. So really 10% overall is a pretty huge hit for the county to cut back. But it's necessary. And that's what we're recommending to citizens, to please cut back 10%. And if they're going to do that, we should be doing it too.
That's right. Yeah. What's the message that you guys have for citizens about water cutbacks?
I think we're asking everybody to use as little water as they have to use to keep whatever they need to keep alive. We don't want anybody to let their trees die. We worry about that. We have trees in our parks, and so we worry about making sure our trees are staying alive. And so we don't want anybody to lose anything. But the other side of the coin is we also don't want them to waste the water, let it run down the street. So fix your sprinkler systems if you have them, to make sure that they run a shorter period of time and they're not running water down the street.
Okay, Commissioner Marsha Berkwinkler, thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
We're going to head to a quick break, but coming up on Face the State, Chief Charlie Moore will be back with us for a discussion about automatic aid between the county and the city of Reno and possible consolidation talks. That's right after the break.